Okay, it starts. Hello, everybody. Welcome to another session of Conquest of Purgatory, where we just spent a long time doing technical issues. Mia won't be joining us right now. She'll be joining us later. So, just to check, just because now I'm paranoid. Can somebody say something?
No.
Oh, okay. It's picking up your audio. That's all I want to know. No, not Redomer again. Not that gif. So to do a what we call a little recap, right? Um, Last session, y'all finished up, went a little bit deeper into the tower, going through a mine, fighting a little bit of spiders, and then going into a very overgrown with various flora and plants and berries and whatnot part of the tower. That's the third floor. After which, deciding to come back. There, you were had a little bit of a rough apprehension, let's say, with the captain of the guard in the Adventurers Guild, and then being branded with basically a very simple symbol. I'm thinking probably just something like a triangle, to notify that you guys are troublemakers. After that, well, somebody got his share as a wish. Somebody went to instantly ask how the fuck did the rules here work. But all in all, we gather ourselves back at the Familia home. So, the timing might be off, but for mostly sake of easiness, we'll just say that you guys are able to sort of meet up again and go back. The time of the day right now is sort of going a bit late afternoonish. You can see that maybe the sun will settle down fully in maybe about 30-45 minutes, and I don't like what you guys are thinking already. Um, but yeah, you guys come back to your little sort of basement where you can see now that the windows have been uncovered from various planks and not, there is light coming in from it, a sort of a warm, slightly glowy, probably a candle-like fire. And as you approach down the basement, go down the little stairs, you go for the door, uh, currently locked, but as you sort of hit, you get a response from the other side. Who is it?
It's us. We're back.
Oh, you hear sort of a keys, you know, clinking, and just open up the door a little bit, and yeah, there you see. You don't get hit by that mold hit you got the first time. It seems to have been aired out, and you can instantly see that the place has been freshened up, let's say. It's still a basement at the end of the day, but there is a much more inviting feel to it. As the person who opens the door you see is your goddess, just sort of looks at all of you and goes, "Well, you've been out for a while. Come in. Me and Eva here did most of the work. It's clean now. Come in, come in." And as you sort of settle in a bit, you notice that most of the dust has been, well, dusted off. Not really a lot of there. Uh, Furniture is still. It's been cleaned off as much as possible, but it still has that old. There are no new furniture, any of that type. Um, but no bad smell. It's still just a basement, but it's clean as much as you can ask for. And there, Avi, you see, of course, your little sister sort of just sitting on one of the little rotten-like chairs that you have, just sort of wiggling her feet, waiting, looking at you, and sort of putting a, like a little smile when she sees you. So,
I need a jar.
before that, how was it? You came awfully late, so I'm going to presume went well.
Oh, it was fun. I like getting stabbed.
Right. Well, I bought some tea for all of us, at least something to treat you guys back as when you come back. Um, I
I
only.
mean, can I, as I raise and show
He's
the
nuts.
mark?
She sort of just looks, glares at a bit. Let me get the tea first. And she's gonna go and make some tea. You guys can settle in if you want, and you'll get a workable cup. So, I'll leave it to you. What do you want to start with? That bad news there? Or do you want to start with how it went in the tower and any good news?
The tower was fine. Completely fine.
Alright.
But what was outside? And I think it's best to if you just show it all. And well, I think someone should just tell the story. Someone, closely involved. Why we have this.
Okay. I will take the hint to take over. Thank you, Gildurk. Long story short, a guy was being a dick to Zamaan, so I tried to teach him a lesson. It failed. Do I
It was
regret
my
it?
fault. It was my
No,
fault, though, for
no.
instigating it.
Okay, listen. You didn't instigate anything. You were just interested in his book. He took massive offense to that, for some reason. And me, obviously wanting to protect my fellow familia member, tried to teach him a subtle lesson about how important things tend to get lost if you don't pay attention to them. I was gonna give it back, obviously.
She's just going to, get like a slight turn to Gildurk, and Gildurk, you notice this. Just sort of giving you that sort of a look is like, just true.
I just you know I just look I just look down to the ground and be like just give that sigh. Try to.
All right. I feel like some. If that really was the case, very noble, but I feel like some details are being left out. So, who wants to fill those details in?
Basically, I found interest in the book, and then on the spot we tried to steal the book, and the guard caught us.
There we go.
I
That's
didn't admit anything.
all right. So, okay, this is going to basically be my first real talk, I suppose. And I'm not quite skilled at doing this yet, but how do I put this in a light term? What were you thinking? What went through your mind right there and then when you see other adventurers and you see that you're in an important establishment and that you have guards left and right? What went through your mind? I, I am disappointed. I think you can note that, but I'm also curious right now. What went through your mind? Before,
Okay, well,
before you start, let's let's go with who started this. I want to see how this folded out. Zamaan, please tell me your side first. What went through your mind?
Well, I got a strong impulse to examine the book, and as I was getting closer, the elf man got really mad for me at looking at his book because he's very pompous, and I was just I gave a look to Avi, and we just had a spontaneous thought that maybe if I sneeze, maybe it would take his attention. Maybe we could get that book because he was acting very rudely towards me. So nothing intelligent was going through my mind. It was just impulse. I'm sorry.
All right. Avi, what went through your mind?
Granted, basically the absolute same. You also gotta understand my entire life, any time that I saw a shiny thing in the slums, I was gonna try and steal it.
I,
It's how I survived.
I understand that much. When we first met, I just thought you went about it in a more subtle way, I want to say.
And granted, I did overestimate myself massively, I will say that.
All right. Now, of course, um, Gildurk, what's your input here?
Uh, well, as I said before, to them, back in the tower, I really think we should have coordinated first, but we talked about this afterwards, and well, our friend, our book-loving friend here, did promise to not do it while I'm near, at the very least. So at least the group itself will be probably okay. About the other stuff, well, I do not condone it, and I do think it's not only dangerous, but also kind of stupid to go about stealing random things. But I do not want to really judge people for it too much. I guess my input is just it shouldn't happen again.
That is an input I would have to agree with. Now, I would presume, and I very much hope they did, they told you what that mark is supposed to at least represent, right? That brand.
Yes.
Right. So you know then what happens if something of such criminal accord happens again, right?
Yes.
Yes.
All right. So, taking that into fact, taking experience from it, both foolish and foolish, what have we learned? Have we learned?
Do not commit a crime.
Do not commit a crime stupidly. Joking. I'm joking. I'm just trying to lessen the tension that's in
You-
the air.
You're not wrong on that one, Zamaan. You're not wrong. Just keep it sane.
Okay, I will.
Okay. So, and this is just for confirmation actually, besides that, nothing else of occurred, right? Nothing bad?
No,
No?
but I would like to speak with you later in private.
That would be easily done. But before we get to that, if that is the case and we're done with the bad part, let's try and turn this around. If anything, this might prove for an interesting story. For the time being, it is a negative thing. So, what good happened? Tell me how
I got us a new decoration.
What do you mean?
I'm gonna pull out the water fly. I just need a jar.
Oh, Ava, I think we left one over there, and she should just goes up, and gives you It's one of those like smaller jars, almost like a jam jar, but like a small one.
I put it on the table and like poke holes in the top.
You're able to make a, well, waterfly jar. Waterfly in a jar, I suppose. That's the closest thing I can get. 1 second.
Oh yeah, we getting Terraria up in this bitch.
That's actually what came to my mind. All right. So, how dangerous was the tower? How was your experience? Who was the most valiant? Who was? What did you find down there? I want to hear about this.
Well, we traversed some caves, we fought some kobolds, and fought some spiders as well, and
Mhm.
burned their webs so they wouldn't reproduce.
Good. Were any of you hurt?
Me and Zamaan took quite a beating, and I took a couple shots myself, but everyone else I think is relatively unharmed.
All right. And
Suppose that's karma.
you could look at it that way. Now, of course, an interesting part at the end of this is, well, I'm going to have to be regulating some of the finances. Of course, it's your finances as much as mine, but it's the rent is on my name, so I'm going to have to ask how much money was made.
We made 30 gold worth of quintium.
All right. Um, just you would have probably exchanged that already into the
Yeah,
guild. So just
that's
count.
what
So
I'm assuming.
yeah, so just count it as 30 gold pieces.
Okay.
30 gold pieces. Good. Won't quite cover the rent. As funny as that might sound, I still wanted to keep us a bit close.
Is rent weekly or monthly?
It's going to be on a monthly basis, but due to scarcity of places and increasing prices and, well, trying to keep us at least somewhat in a nicer neighborhood, um, yes, we're going to have to pay that out. But you don't have to worry about it now. I did have a bit of lenience from the guild starting out. Therefore, we shouldn't have to worry about it now. And, well, of course, as you delve deeper, the idea is that more can be made, so rent won't have to be worried about. Though, if we want to ever upgrade from a basement, that, of course, is going to go up as well. That's besides the point. Those are, topics for another time. Hope you like the tea. It is, well, it's simple green tea, honestly. I couldn't, well, that was the closest thing that we could find. Hope it's to your taste. Um, right, Gildurk. I know you want to talk later, but I do also want to inform you now, and for everybody else, you might want to, well, I'm not sure if you wish to sleep here tonight or if you want to go to your own abodes, but Vilma is going to be arriving tomorrow morning and would like to meet you, Gildurk, and would like to meet the rest of you, of course, as well. So,
Oh,
um, Gildurk can tell you more, but a friend.
all right.
He's like some sort of social counselor.
Alrighty then. And I will be sleeping here.
I'll be sleeping here too, and I must compliment you on cleaning up the place. It looks much better now,
That
and the smell is gone.
we had a lot of time. I thought you'd come earlier, but I think it ends up being better this way. Of course, I think the if when we do have a little bit of excess money, I do think we might need to get a bit more furniture in here. At least functioning furniture.
I'm on it.
Thank you. Thank you for your optimism and, well, go for it attitude. Now, you guys can rest. And and since there isn't much privacy here, Gildurk, do you mind if we step out for a second then?
Yeah.
All right.
Joins a separate Discord call.
Nah, I'd want to end my existence with the OBS stuff.
It almost makes you want to request it. Almost. What is yeah? Let's go.
Yeah. She's going to go outside, and where you have, as I mentioned before, is like a little bit of a little backyard. It's, you know, houses around and stuff, but it's probably going to be the most private thing you can get. And she closes the door behind as she steps up from the stairs, you know, you going up first. Well, this is you. What did you want to talk about?
Well, I couldn't help but notice that the guard here is quite unfair to us. This isn't a very big a thing that just happens to us, but to everyone. And well, I'm thinking I want to like change that. I think that's not okay. But I think I do need to gather some support to actually do that. And now I want to ask if you would be willing to support this project. I already talked to like a few people on the way back. Maybe we can try to get them on to join this too. But it's gonna be something that needs a lot of people behind it, and especially a goddess' name behind it would probably help to get this somewhat started.
I have heard rumors on my own that things aren't quite going as smoothly as it should be when it comes to the Adventurers Guild guard that I'm believing you're talking about. But I was a bit focused on other things. I believe Verma will be able to tell you more about that scenario there, considering he is an ex-adventurer as well. But you are part of my familia, and just as you support me, I am there to support you. And, well, we've already talked before. I can get a pretty decent grasp of who and what you are, Gildurk. Therefore, I will put my trust into you. If you believe that it is truly bad, and I will support you on that. It's the least I could do.
Thank you. It's exactly what I was hoping for.
Sorry, Adi.
Oh no, Adi's
Adi.
Discord crashed.
What do you mean crash? No, he just turned the camera off.
No, he told me in the private messages his Discord froze and then it crashed.
Well,
you know, maybe at least next time you should go and not use and like tag the names along.
no,
I don't know.
It looks cooler. I don't care what you say. Technical issues for coolness factor. Welcome back.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
But I will ask Gildurk, considering this was an incident, and well, what is your honest opinion of the rest?
I think they're troubled, but around that, they do seem to be willing to compromise and do not just think of themselves.
I do just wish to ask a bit further in depth. When you say troubled, do you mean that they simply have a habit of being troublemakers? Though, of course, I know some of that part already. Or is it more of a case that you feel that there is something inside them, more of us like a spiritual troubling?
I would say one begets the other.
That's fair as well. Well, hopefully with teamwork and continuing adventuring and working together, a sense of camaraderie and working together will form. So, of course, that itself needs a push. And considering you are willing to do good, Gildurk, this might have to be on your hands. Of course, I will attempt as well, but there needs to be some work there as well.
Of course.
Now, as I said, Roma is going to be wanting to see you tomorrow, probably to hear how your first adventure was. So, well, either be here early or sleep over as well. There's place. I think you can find some. But is there anything else you would like to speak of?
No, that was it. That was it. I just wanted to, well, just in case you did not want to support it, I did not want to put you on the spot and instead have a bit more of a private environment. Although I can imagine that they might not think my intentions that innocent.
Right. I will say, and this is something I can definitely say for you, is that, well, even if I do support you, and I very much will, there is the issue of we're new, we barely have a reputation, goddess or no goddess, and, well, compared to some adventurers, we are still very new to this. Therefore, our word might not carry much weight itself. But
Yeah.
with enough hard work and effort, and of course, making yourself and the rest of us look better will give us some leeway as well as we go on.
Of course. I mostly plan for now to gather up stories and people, then have well, at some point plan to go more public and gain the attention of people that do not that do not suffer directly from the guards as much, or at least got lucky enough to not suffer from them.
Well,
But,
let's hope it goes well. I think that's the best that we can think about right now.
indeed. Thank you for your time.
Anytime. Anyways, let's go back in. It is starting to get a little bit chilly. While that conversation was happening down below, Arcane is sort of keeping to themselves right now, but there's Ava who is sort of looking to you, Avi, and looking to Big Fireman, and she basically sort of looks up. So, she sort of looks at you, Avi, and then looks at him. Why is he on fire?
That's a really good question, actually. Zamaan, why are you on fire?
I'm just like that.
Like,
Does it
I do
hurt?
wonder where.
I mean, I think it has to do with the fact that my father is a fire genie. I don't know. Also, rude not to introduce me to who this might be. You
You already
see,
introduced it. Didn't you already meet her? Ah, no.
no,
Yes,
no,
I apologize. Zamaan,
no.
this is my little sister, Ava. Ava, say hello to my friend Zamaan.
She
Hello, Ava.
she sort of tries to put a hand out, but you can see that there's that sort of uneasy feeling. It's like, if I touch him, am I going to get burned?
Don't worry, you can shake my hand. I won't burn you.
She does, very gently, and just, a little bit warm. Um, so, um, what do you do?
I can use magic. See, as I cast produce flames.
As you say that and you do, her eyes sort of sort of go open. It's like, ooh, he can do magic. And as she sort of looks at you, Avi.
Oh, he certainly can. He certainly can.
Can I do magic?
I don't know. Maybe. Can you? Have you tried?
She sort of looks at sort of how you just sort of, did a little bit of like a, motions, and she's like, sort of just goes like below, trying to like do the symbols, but you can see that it's just messed up, and no.
Oh. To be honest, I have no idea how to tell if someone can do magic. Do you know, Zamaan?
I think people usually know that either they're born with it or someone teaches them that. I'm not really sure how to tell as well. I haven't met many other wizards, so I wouldn't know.
Mm.
Sorry. But
Could you teach your magic then?
maybe some simple spells. Nothing too complex.
I suppose you only know fire, and that might be a bit dangerous.
I mean, I could teach her something that could be useful.
Hey, I'm a big
Since
girl
she-
now. I can handle fire.
I have something more useful since you are working here with keeping our house safe
Okay.
and clean and top notch. I can teach you how to mend things without having to use anything physical.
Like
Do
repair them?
like what?
Like repair them?
Yes, repair them. Like if you have a tear in a dress or something, you can
Avi,
magically
Avi,
put
Avi,
it
Avi,
together.
Avi, Avi, Avi. That would have been so useful. Yes.
It still has potential to be useful then. Be great to learn that, wouldn't it?
Please teach me.
Oh, well, listen. We will be very, very busy, so that may not happen.
Can you be busy teaching me?
I can fit in at least 1 hour when we rest at home or something like that.
Yay! Thanks, Zamaan.
No problem, kid.
I owe you one.
Bye, Dad.
No, I think this is me paying
Hmm.
my debt to you.
And as that sort of finishes up, you see that Perpetea, your goddess, and Gildurk come back in, and the goddess goes and says, "Well, with that out of the way, I can sort of feel it a little bit tingly in my fingers for a while now. No, are you ready to, well, become stronger? I can do the
Yes.
ritual." Perfect. Who'd like to go
Me
first?
Me first.
There we go. So, for ease, either lie down on the bed or sit on a chair. Just turn your back to me. And yes, you're going to have to take off your shirt. And as you sort of, get ready, get in position, she's basically going to do out of character. She's basically going to do the level up ritual for you guys. And you sort of notice with with as everybody's watching this, with Avi first, you see that as sort of a little bit of like handwork and sort of a little bit gestures in the air, you see almost like you see your goddess basically take out from sort of like a sleeve, almost like a sort of like a radiant, like shining sort of key, as she just puts it in Avi's back and turns it. Yeah, it feels a little bit tingly, but as it does, sort of multiple little doors just open up and sort of crawl, like not crawl, but just sort of like float out of the various entrances, doors on Avi's back, sort of creating this sort of symbol. And you see for Avi that it seems to almost, at least beginning to create almost like a feather, sort of going about, almost trying to grow into wings, but it's just a few feathers for now. And a little bit of opening and a little bit of rearranging you see that the goddess is doing. Eventually, she pushes that back in and takes the key and locks it again. Once again, that tingly feeling goes through you, and it. And you, as you sort of get up, you feel just a little bit different, Avi. Not in the sense that you just massively change like body or whatever. It just feels like there's something a bit newer, something a bit more unlocked into you that you can do. And she's going to do the same procedure to all of you, but what you can notice for everybody is that there's a little bit of a different symbology. The idea of unlocking and sort of doors coming out remains the same, but what comes out differs. For Zamaan, it almost feels a little bit, almost like, a tinge of fire, almost like embers slowly trying to grow. For Gildurk, there's a bit of feeling of more earthiness, almost rockiness to it. And for Arcane, there's this hue of what was the fucking name for this? Almost kind of like roots growing, almost like just like a little branch going through. But that's just the start. And as the ritual completes, well, hopefully, you should all feel a little bit different. Do you? Notice any changes on you?
I feel a bit. I don't know.
Perfect.
It does feel weird.
Perfect. It works then.
I feel like I'm a bit more familiar with my magic.
Perfect. Then all is in order. Well,
It feels like I can take a cunning action of some sort.
Well, that being the case, welcome to being just a smidge stronger than you were before. Continue up, and, well, hopefully you'll become legends one day. One day. Let's not rush right now. It's still a step-by-step process, but one day. Now, I'm going now. With that over, I'm going to be in my little corner over there, just reading a little bit of a book I have. I need to finish it, so I'm going to go and rest.
Good night.
Good night.
Good night.
But yeah, is there anything you'd like to do? Since you do have a little bit of the evening to do something, if anything you'd wish. Talk to anybody, do anything.
I can teach Ava the mending cantrip. Maybe start teaching her how she would do it. I don't know if I can teach her instantly, so that's why.
No, definitely not. But
she doesn't have any experience with magic. That's why I can just show her the basics for now.
Okay.
I'm gonna go visit Isaac.
Okay. Just 1 second. Yeah. Just to give Zamaan, you try and go through some of the sort of beginning things, but as you do, you're not sure. You feel like your explanation is simple enough. Maybe it's not, but quickly, Ava just sort of short circuits basically and gets lost as you have to showcase, the verbal commands. It's basically teaching a new language in its own self, as you know. You have to learn the proper hand movements. You have to know the various symbols. You have to understand things, and it's work, and it's already rough. It's basically it's almost as if you're throwing a teenager calculus, basically. But Boo, are you going to AFK?
I keep turning off my thing.
Um,
I have no idea what hotkey to put it on to make it like not
do
have
it.
me accidentally press it. Yeah.
Something on a numpad, maybe.
Fuck it. I'll do that.
But yeah, you're able to visit Isaac. It is, as I said, already getting to the evening, so I would say that um, as you sort of go to him, he's most likely closing shop. But you see him, and fuck it, I can show. I edited a fucking mustache.
Oh my god.
um, you sort of approach, and he's sort of just like putting things in a basket, putting things into the shop, and he sort of sees you. Gives this like big laugh. There he is. How are you doing?
Well, it's been interesting.
When isn't it interesting with you? Come on.
I mean, they got into trouble the first day.
Let me guess. You tried to steal from somebody and it didn't go well. Caught red-handed.
Yeah, you know how it goes. It's a really shiny book too.
I didn't take you for a book person.
I wasn't. One of my one of the members of the Familia I joined took a very keen interest to it, and I just thought, why not, right?
Well, and he sort of just looks down and he sort of looks at the brand. Oh. Oh. Yeah, that's nasty. Might want to.
Well,
Might want to
go away.
might-
It'll go away in a month. Don't worry about it.
I'd recommend keeping you out of trouble while that's there.
Yeah, I know. I know when to lay low when I need to.
So, I'm closing shop. I got some time. What can I do for you?
I just came to see how you're doing. How you been? How's the business been? Or how's business been? Those fuckers from the Thieves Guild come back?
Not yet. But that excuse you've told me, I can't even count how many times. You always come and say that, and I always end up giving you at least something from my shop. So, have at it. I've got some apples right now that are pretty fresh. Would you like some to give to your sister?
Yeah, I'll take a bushel.
Hold up, just trying to think out of character. How much is a bushel of apples? Because isn't a bushel like a decent amount actually? There's like a barrel.
Oh, fair enough. Yeah, it's like 45 pounds.
Ah.
No. Okay, give me 10 apples.
6.
I mean, I was gonna pay you, but it's 6 it is.
You don't have to pay me anything. Business is closing. These are already gonna go away probably, most of them, tomorrow morning. So take them while they're fresh.
Right.
Besides, we've known each other for... Wow, I was going to say it for a long time, but I only realized it's been 2 years. How the hell do you grow that fast?
Yeah, just... I don't know, we birds grow fast.
Understandable. Have your 6 apples.
Thank you.
And, yeah, no, you can carry some.
If you ever need to find me, or if you ever need any help or just want to visit sometimes, we live now in whatever the fuck the address is.
Yeah, no. All right. New places. I like that. You're moving up the world, kid. You know that? I remember when you were just. You realize it's how different is even if it's like putting here like this.
Yeah. I remember you being a lot scarier when I first saw you.
Everybody says that. I'm not scary. Or am I?
Nah, imposing is the word.
That explains why I'm not getting that many customers.
Maybe you should shave that mustache.
Hey, don't touch the mustache. And if you want to grow one, actually, can you grow one? If you want to grow one,
I mean,
just remember, love.
does that mean Ava's gonna grow one too?
No, shouldn't. And I don't know.
All right. Well, we shall see then. I guess we shall see.
I don't think it would fit her.
Thanks for the apples. I'll come back once in a while.
I'm going to ask around for that one. I'll tell you when we next see each other.
All right. Thank you. See you around. Go. Nice. Keep it nice and sweet.
Going back to Zamaan for a second. Zamaan, as you're just sort of going through your magic and looking, I just need to remind myself. 1 second. Right. As you're sort of trying to teach magic and going a little bit through your book, you feel almost a slight pull. So slight that you barely notice it, and when you do, even then, you still have control. It was very and you basically just put over a new page, past the book, where your spells are, to a blank page, and you sort of just pick up your spell book, basically. You sort of look through it, and as you sort of blink, as you as you blink, you sort of notice small bits of ink almost rising, almost sort of like just suddenly appearing onto the spell book. Tidbits. It's not like instantaneously happens. Once, blink again, twice, thrice, until it fills out. And you notice, sort of shaking your head and looking at all the spells, you notice those are new spells. One of them, shield, as you understand, and the other one, the gift of alacrity. You understand what they do after you read them, but they suddenly appeared. Trying next, you keep seeing blank pages, and even after looking and blinking, nothing else appears. Just those two spells. Right.
Cool.
Gildurk, anything from you for this evening?
Yes, definitely.
Do tell.
I want to just go out and do some scouting, essentially. Look for more people
Okay.
that have been June. Actually, could I actually go and like look for stuff that's currently happening? In like the troublemaker zones, like around like taverns and shit.
Sure. I'm just trying to think what this would be as you're just scouting out. Give me an investigation check. Investigation roll.
Cool. I have no doubts in that.
Let's go. It kind of makes the most sense as you're taking one. So only a 14 because I think the 3 is a bless, right? Guidance. Okay.
Probably, yeah. Yes.
Yeah. Guidance wouldn't apply even if you tried to because this is a more of a continuous thing. But a 14. Yeah, no, when you're thinking of troublemaker, there's, you'll always find, especially coming towards night and people wanting, getting off from work and stuff, you do check some taverns. You do check some of the, alleyways near taverns, that there's always things there happening as well. And there's the usual drinking, card games, um, gambling in its own right. None of that illegal per se. But there is, I would say, one thing that catches your eye that is a little bit, I suppose, more troublemaking than the rest. As you're sort of looking down some of the alleys, you hear a sound coming, almost as a sound of somebody grunting. And as you sort of go to check, you notice a man sort of just lying down in an alleyway, sort of beaten up, as you notice just two figures just past the corner, sort of leaving on the other side of the alleyway. And you hear slight noises coming from that individual, like pain.
Can I like see anything? I think I have dark vision or something. Let me check.
Do you? Let me check as well.
I might.
Goddamn, the B movie
I
script.
know undead on like Pathfinder have them.
Circle morality. Not sure where it would add. Usually it adds to.
Okay.
No, it's not Eye of the Graves.
No. Okay, it might actually be not. Okay, that might not be a thing then.
Just then check up the Reborn because I think usually it says so. Like it ends up being into your features and traits if you have dark vision. But double check that if you want. Either or, if you want, you can make me a. Actually, do check because that actually might put some importance right now.
Sure.
No. Check if you can see in the dark or not. I meant.
Oh. Nice. This is a. Blah, blah, blah. No, apparently not. I can see that there it is.
If it doesn't say they have dark vision, then you are assumed to have normal vision, or
Yeah,
seemed. Then because it's dark, and this would be one of the a bit of a darker alleyways. Can you re-roll that perception with disadvantage?
Sure.
Wow. Oh, okay. Just a 14. Cool. With a 14, I would say you it ended up being that kind of timing where you weren't able to see exactly who was leaving, but from the figures that you could garner, they seemed to be at least because they were obviously hooded and were going away, facing away from you. But you can notice that their figure is relatively normal, one a little bit taller than the other. So you can already rule out from that, possibly certain races like halflings or gnomes, but they're not terribly large either. So you can also probably cross off some of the more bigger races. In general, though, most likely either something like some kind of human, maybe half elf, elf, that sort of deal. But trying to get a perfect glance of them, difficult. The man down below, though, that you can sort of peer from this distance, does seem to be, you sort of glance, but you do see a little bit of pointy ear coming out. So, looking either half elf or elf.
Oh, so not a person. I'm kidding.
Uh-huh.
Okay. So you said the dude left.
The two figures that most likely that you can conclude from this point probably beat up left, but the guy is still on the ground, probably, groaning in pain.
Okay, then I will go and well, ask if he needs help. Like go close, kneel, and then whisper in a hushed tone if he needs help.
Yeah, no. As you approach, he sort of just goes, "Oh no, don't hurt me too. They've already robbed me." Oh, hello.
Hello. I just saw you in trouble. I was wondering if you needed help.
Uh, uh, I'm fine. Uh, just beaten up. Thank you. I can stand, and he tries to get up. He can just slowly.
Just say the word. I can help you really quickly. Namely, I'm a cleric. I can
Oh,
I can just I'm willing to just cast it for you. No charge.
no, no, no. I'm not. I'm not gonna fall for this one again. What's the catch? What's the price?
No price. Maybe you could afterwards talk with me, but that's entirely on you if you want to or not.
Are you kidding me? Uh, uh yeah. Heal me then. If the price is talking, I'd gladly. And yeah, you can heal him. Just do a cure wounds if just to see how much you're able to heal for.
All right, we're level 2 now, right?
Yeah, you're level 2. I'm not sure if your cure wounds was going up by spell level, or I think it was primarily spell level, but they should be able to say.
I mean, it's asking me what level I should cast it at.
Oh, I mean, you're only level 2. I don't think you have level 2 slots available yet. So you can only cast it as a level 1.
Fair enough.
Well, let me see if that's correct. Yeah. Yeah, with 9, you heal him. You sort of go and touch him, and you. How would I go for you? You see almost sort of a wheat like approach take over as you sort of heal him, and all of it, like little bit of bruisings and whatnot, sort of just combs and just goes over his entire body as it sort of goes from the hand towards the rest of his body. And as it finishes, he sort of opens his eye again. It's like, whoa, I feel like as if I didn't get beaten up at all. That's cool.
Yeah, yeah, that's just a little bit of healing magic, but well, how about we go somewhere not so dark and dangerous?
I'd
Not
say
be all patched up.
I'd offer you a drink in the nearest tavern, but I'm currently out. So
I don't drink anyway, so we
oh,
can just go
yeah, sure,
wherever.
sure. And yeah, you leave the alleyway, and I'll say that for the time being, you can go on walk on some of the more lit alleys and sort of roads. So yeah, how can I help?
Well, you could maybe tell me who beat you up.
Oh, uh, fuck it, I'm already in trouble anyways. Just some loan sharks. Nothing, too big.
Look big.
Not the. I'm embarrassing myself just saying it, but it's not the first time. Uh, they tend to do that every now and then just to remind me that I owe them. I try to give back, but the interest rate is. Yeah, I got scammed, and now I'm in deep shit. But, yeah, you get used to it.
Hmm. It's unfortunate. Hmm. How much do you know them?
Uh, well, took everything from my have now, but I don't think they're gonna count that one. About 60 gold. Kind of gambled all of it away. It's. I got some that it was going great. Had a great hand. Tried to good night, good luck, and then you know, you know how it goes. Just lose it all in a second.
Hmm. Sounds a bit like you have a problem. Well,
Well, yeah.
well, if you have a hmm, I'm currently looking for something else in this area. Could you maybe tell me about if you know anyone that well has been wronged by the guard? I know that's a bit of a sudden change of topic, but that's actually where I originally came in this
Oh.
into this area of town.
Uh, the guard. Like, you mean they got shaken down?
Well, anything really, shaken down or well, just roughed up because they were in the way, or got group punishments, anything that really seemed well, not really like something the guard should do, but still does.
I'm trying to think, but besides the besides the usual low life, the guards not so much. This area is pretty protected by its familia. Um, I mean, yeah, I still get beaten up, but I can't expect them to be everywhere. And besides, I went to the guard once and I only got beat up more the next time, so not repeating that mistake again. But I can't think of anything like that. Not here.
Hmm. All right. Thank you. Anyways, about your problem, I don't think I can. Hmm. I can't think of any way to help you right now.
Trust.
But if you if you if you're willing, you can tell me like where you usually hang out. Maybe I will drop by at some point.
Well, and he's going to sort of just point back from where you came from. There's a tavern there, just two lilies. Um, that's my usual hangout spot. You know, drop by whenever you want.
All right. Seems
Uh,
good.
didn't
Good luck.
thanks. Just so if we do meet again, what's your name?
Call me Gildurk, and I like reach out my hand.
He reaches out. Thanks for the help, Gildurk. I'm Darren. Uh, thanks for the help, honestly. Um, good folk like you don't come around here often, or well, help as often. But thanks.
No problem. Just what I expect from others as well. I do think being a good example inspires others.
Mm-hmm. And yeah, after that, you go separate ways, and at that point, it's already getting decently late at night. Looking at the various alleys, taverns, and things, and talking would have taken some time. Uh, Going back, yeah, nothing real much of interest happens. Ava will inform you, Avi, that she she tried to learn a bit from Zamaan, and while happily eating the apple, that it's way too hard. And she tries to go like graphic explain. He just goes like this with his arms and says something. I don't know what he says. It's like
No
weird.
one said it's gonna be easy. If you want to know, you have to try really, really hard.
I know. It's just
I know you could do it, kid. You're smarter than me.
thanks. Anyways, these apples are really good.
Yeah,
Get them from Isaac?
yeah, of course I did. You said you should come visit next time.
Yeah. He's a nice guy. Scary,
He really is.
but not now. He's good.
Nah.
Right?
What were you up to?
Just trying to, well, learn magic. Didn't go well. Uh, he,
Come on. It's getting late. Come on, get to bed.
yeah, right? So, as eventually all of you fall to sleep, uh, yeah, I'll get to this. Just 1 second, just to check. Yeah, okay. So this is going to yeah. So going back to Gildurk once more. Gildurk, as you fall asleep, and that sort of being taken in by the abyss feeling as you fall asleep, like just like that in a second. Your eyes close, you drift off.
Oh,
Hmm?
I,
Right.
I still don't sleep.
Right. You still have to be motionless though, right?
Yeah, I just lie somewhere creepily. Probably open my eyes for 4 fucking hours.
4 fucking hours just keeps. Sure. Let's go with that. My bad. But either or, as you're still thinking throughout that. You still have the ability to think. I mean, I don't think it says that you can't think, right? Yeah, you retain consciousness. Yeah, cool.
Yeah.
You sort of, your thoughts drift off for a bit to a point where you so end up being focused into those thoughts that you, for a time being, feel as if you're in a different place. And the first thing that gets you, as even though you've drifted off and keeping your eyes closed, you feel this very soft, almost tingly sensation on your skin, like from going from your head all the way to your bottom, but only on the back side. And you look up to see a very blue, bright, slightly cloudy sky. You enjoy it. It's very filled with bliss. As the breeze also sort of comes around, comes by and hits you a little bit. And as you're enjoying that sort of thought, you hear a voice, almost as if you hear a voice. Something comes from your side. You turn and you jolt up from that position. Looking around, the voice was familiar, though the voice itself was, how to explain this, muffled. Both muffled yet loud. It was as if somebody was speaking to you normally and backwards at the same time, intermixed with various voices themselves. It's a strange sensation, and your own hearing and your own thought can't really comprehend it. But it's almost as if your soul itself understands it. From there, you stand up in this thought, seeing 2 familiar individuals. They themselves blurred. You can't recognize any details. You can't recognize any features. Even the height is not quite what it is. But you recognize them. A voice comes out again, and you only understand it. And you start running, and running, and running. They running with you. You're slightly in the back, but you're running. You're keeping up. And eventually you come to this visualization. A massive tree. It's clear. Every leaf visible. Every little apple on it visible itself. The 2 individuals start climbing. You follow suit. It's hard to climb it. You're not nearly as dexterous as they are, as you can see. But you keep on climbing. And you're stuck on this one little piece of the branch. Can't climb any further. And as you look up, you see those 2 individuals putting out a hand towards you. And you try and go and clasp one of the hands to pull yourself up. When you only hear shattering of glass, the image, the thought you only see just shatters into small pieces. And in that moment, in less than a span of a second, you come back to your own normal senses, seeing the room around you, properly focused back into reality. You look left, right. You see people sleeping normally. You yourself have this little cold feel going through your body, almost as if you have a cold sweat. but there is no sweat. And trying to gasp for air, but not needing it, not getting that fulfillment of having air in your lungs. And you're just there in the room.
Question: has something like that happened before?
No. Something like this? No.
Well, good thing Wilma will be coming by tomorrow. But yeah, where is this fresh? I'm gonna try to like sneak around and look for like pen and paper.
I'd say you'd be able to find some. Probably like something that that your goddess, the Peripateia, just sort of keeps around. Probably for, well, as you open up, it seems to be more like for financial reasons. But you can get a piece of paper from the back, and you can write on something.
Yeah, I will just try to write down, you know, what I just experienced. So I don't I don't forget and I don't miss any details later down the line.
All right. It doesn't seem, even though it was vivid, and even though there was a lot of movement, it doesn't seem like anybody woke up from it. And you're still being maybe a little bit quiet, but nobody awakes. If you'd like, you can just go back to your motionless state.
Yeah, no. After I've written the stuff down, I will do that.
Yeah, I'll give you a description later on. That's cool. Just so you have that. But besides that, morning comes. Gildurk being,
Inside?
I don't know. Do you want it to be inside?
I mean, we don't really have proper windows.
Light still comes in eventually. Like there's windows. You unplanked it. But yeah, as you all sort of slowly awaken, Gildurk is, well, chilling. No real way to say about it. Just, yeah, he's awake a long time ago. Yeah, you can consider yourself as fully rested, properly taking in everything, and yeah, you guys can have you guys can get some sort of breakfast. No real cooking happens, so the breakfast is mostly stuff on the stands or eating out. But generally speaking, next day. Um, unless anybody has anything, Volmer will be coming later. Will be arriving.
So, we gonna go into the dungeon today, fellas?
Yeah, but do remember someone wants to come by first.
Oh, yeah. No, I do know that. Just making sure. Making sure.
The goddess will.
So, when will this someone come?
I look at the goddess.
He said in the morning, so hopefully soon. Also for
Ooh, what does he look like?
um, you'll know he's big and tends to be in his armor. Trust me, you'll know when you see him.
So I can't carry him. Damn it.
No, you certainly cannot.
You were saying?
Right. I was just going to mention. Just note, of course, going to the dungeon every day. Perfect. We need that for the start, of course, but remember to rest up. Sometimes everybody needs a rest day. This is just me trying to, give in a little bit of those tips before something wrong goes on. But and maybe about 5 minutes after, a knock happens on the door. The goddess goes and opens, and you see this, no joke, this very large individual. Let me see if I can get his picture just so to explain how he looks like. But this guy is very tall. You see that his maybe more taller than 2 meters, definitely. Um, yep. And he sort of has to crouch in to get basically into the thing, especially so because of it, like these sort of antler helmets. And after he sees it's not really going well, he just sort of takes it off with one hand, and you see this very pale looking furbolg under, sort of looking, and it's like, good morning, everybody. I hope you've had a nice sleep.
You were not kidding. He is big.
Good morning, fellow adventurer.
Good morning, Volma.
He nods. As is tradition, I have brought pie. There is apple and blueberry. Please choose.
And in return, I have apple.
This is not as tradition says, but I will gladly take this apple.
Maybe not your tradition, but mine does.
Please. I have tried hard for these pies. Please enjoy them.
Thank you.
I would like to speak to all of you later on outside, but for the time being, I require Gildurk. Gildurk, may you come outside?
Of course.
Thank you. And he,
I'm gonna look at Perpetan's mom. Like, do you think we should like get another like wall down here to make a separate room?
well, let me ask you, Avi, do you have the money to afford a new wall?
I mean, look, when we have the money, because people getting out to talk is becoming asinine.
Yes, I know. We're ambitious. It's good to have this ambition, but let's focus on the little things. We need beds proper and chairs proper first. Then we can get to walls. Vulmer sort of goes outside. He is decently bigger than you, Gildurk. Like you yourself are a burly individual, but you know. And he sort of turns around to you and goes, "So, how was your first adventure?"
It was quite alright. The combat training seems to have paid off, and well, I seem to be able to also cast the magic under stress just fine.
Perfect. Those are key skills required. But let me ask this. Was there teamwork? How was coordination?
I'm not a tactician, but I think our teamwork uh, was for the first time poor, but the second time was a little better. But that probably wasn't. But probably wouldn't have an issue one way or another, as the enemies were quite weak, and hopefully will allow us to refine our tactics for the next time. However, there was a hiccup before that, where we had well, where someone decided to do something to drew the attention of the guard, and then well, that almost cut our adventure short.
I can notice this. I will not pry into it often, but please do not make these mistakes. Dealing with the law enforcement and being on their bad side, it will not prove beneficial to anybody.
And of course, I've talked with them after, and it seems that the one most responsible is willing to cut back, at least when I'm nearby. And well, our head of Emilia is also had a stern talk.
I would expect so.
I expect this to, well, smooth over eventually. But it's actually another matter. I had some sort of dream, which is unusual.
You can see his eyes narrow just a little bit. I feel like this is going to be of importance. But I have something in plan already. But fine. Tell me of this dream.
Take out the paper and just read it, I guess.
I see. My only advice is to keep, for the time being, keep writing these dreams. I will tell you, I am aware of what is happening, but I do not wish to influence this. For the time being. Continue with these dreams. Inform me when the next one happens.
Of course, no problem at all. So, what did you have in mind?
Well, I was thinking, considering that most adventurers, when they first create a party, have a lack of teamwork and coordination, similar to as we did combat training before, I would see about having combat training with all of you. See what your abilities are, and do a little bit of a training drill in this backyard.
I see. We actually wanted to go to the dungeon today. Would it be possible to do the training exercise in there?
Sadly not. I am not able to follow you into the same, well, tower.
Oh, well, in that case, we should go to talk to the others.
Let's. The rest of you are most likely just chilling as big hulking individual comes back in with Gildurk.
Got to turn my thing on.
Face. Sort of looks at all of you. I have a question to pose for you individuals. Wait. That was awfully rude of me. Proper introductions come first. As you may have heard from Gildurk, I am Vulmer. What are your names?
My name's Avi, and that smaller version of me is my sister Ava.
My name is Zamaan.
Arcane introduces themselves. I have just spoken to Gildurk. One of the things I have taught Gildurk was how the basics of combat and how to handle himself in a fight. Of course, all of you being adventurers, I would assume, and of course, completing some of the tower already, I would believe you have some combat experience yourself. But to promote cooperation and working together, I was going to put a suggestion forward. Would you like to go through a combat training with me, or would you like to go to the dungeon today? Or would you like to do both?
I mean, ideally both.
This would not be strenuous. No harm will be done.
Oh, I understand.
I
Our
see no
teamwork
harm
will
in
only
doing
get better with time.
Zamaan, what do you say?
I see no harm in doing that. That would be probably very beneficial to all of us.
Perfect. Please step outside. Your backyard will have to prove to be sufficient for this training.
How big is our backyard actually?
Not terribly. it's not very big. It's how long would I say? Maybe from the entrance to the basement, maybe about 3-4ish meters, and like 2 meters, like 2-3 meters wide. It's not terribly big, but it gives you enough wiggle room.
I see. It's cursed.
Yeah. Especially because, like, in probably one, like, pocket, there's, like, a small garden as well. I do not have training weapons. Therefore, I cannot give them out. So, if you are going to strike, don't actually strike. Now,
We we could wrap our weapons in cloth and tie them up.
would help. But before that, I know what you are, Gildurk, and what your capabilities are. What about the rest?
I'm good at sneaking around and, hitting people where it hurts. From a range or up close.
A rogue, I would presume, then.
Yes.
Arcane just sort of lifts hand and just goes, same. Two rogues. And he sort of looks at Zamaan, and you can sort of feel this idea, like, almost like, not really judging you, but it's more like this idea of, like, I kind of have a glimpse of I know what you are, but tell me anyways.
I am a wizard. That's all there is to it. Maybe, I'm not sure yet. I have a feeling that I have some kind of grasp over time. But I need to practice it more.
An interesting set of skills you have. Two rogues, a wizard, cleric. Alright. Gildurk, you know your job mostly already as what you're supposed to do, especially since you seem to have a proficiency with more heavier armor. I believe this may have already been proven in the tower. Gildurk, you have went in front of everybody, correct?
Yes.
Perfect. The wizard, Zamaan, I presume you were at a distance, in the back, casting spells, correct?
Yes.
And the rogues were trying to get hits in.
Well, to be specific, in the beginning, I would flap in the air and take range shots at the enemy until Gildurk got close, at which point I would land and try and hit them from a blind spot with my rapier.
Good. You already have a grasp of things. I would like to focus mostly on the rogues now. I'm not sure if that has happened down in the tower, but most of you, but from what I am aware of, back when I was still adventuring, your accuracy for those weak points are quite deadly. And, well, to get those weak points, you have to find a mistake that the enemy has done. Now, with two of you, you can double up on this. Let me showcase. Take out your weapons, Avi and Arcane. And he's going to just sort of stand there. And he's going to basically go, alright, Avi, stay on my left side. Kane, on my right. As you may know, as you may have already perhaps even attempted, you have me on both sides. My focus now must be split. In that split focus, I will be making mistakes. I don't want to get hit by either of you. And you both would abuse this. Try and attack me, both at the same time. And try and make a attack roll.
Alrighty then. So wait, since we're attacking at the same time, then which one of us gets advantage?
You're already flanking. Both of you get advantage.
Oh, okay. You just did not turn, I guess. Yoink.
And I'm going to go for Arcane as well. This is most likely going to
Oh,
be with a
shit.
short sword. But actually,
That
hold up.
wasn't with advantage.
True. I'm gonna roll one more than with normal.
Oh my
It's
god.
7. No. As both of you try and go for a hit, he just sort of you know, ends up going, deflects, sees you coming, Avi, with your sort of burst of speed as you sort of use your wings to propel you a bit forward. He just sort of takes one of your hands and just pushes you away, while Arcane tries to go and stab him, like almost like where the hip would be, and he just sort of moves out the way, and Arcane misses. Good attempt. Again.
I would also like to mention, I do have some other type of combat utility. I was just born with it, I guess. I can disappear and reappear a short distance later. Every once in a while.
How often can you do this?
About every 8 hours or so.
Then do not use this now if you are going to
I
go
mean,
into the
yes,
dungeon.
I know. I just wanted to have you keep that in mind if you're going to be teaching us combat.
But in general, even though I was able to deflect this, that is due to my experience. You might have noticed on yourself that it may have been easier to go for where I would be vulnerable. Therefore, attempt this when you can, of course. Circumstances rise up. And Avi, you have a power to you to work to this for your advantage even further. As you have just stated, you can disappear from one place and go to another. Simply disappear from one place and go to another place and then stab them in the back where it hurts. Similarly, you are pretty fast with those wings, I would assume. Use those to get into position and strike at the enemy. While you can go alone, your biggest strength is working with others. So either focus you and Arcane together, or work with Gildurk. Either or, work together. Rely on somebody else. As you've mentioned, you already are using ranged weapons as well to assist with this. It's a good strategy. But it will also assist, for example, Arcane or Gildurk if you are able to go into the fray yourself. You are here with that in the most important position due to your mobility. Arcane, of course, you two are mobile, but Avi has the natural advantage. Gildurk, your job is as usual. Stay in front, try not to get hit, heal when you need to heal, cast when you need to cast, and smack the enemy when you have to smack them. We went through this before. Just now, keep an eye out for the rest. If you see a position where you can put Avi in a good position yourself accordingly. Similarly with Arcane. Understood?
Yes, sir.
Zamaan, you're the most interesting here. Purely because you're not supposed to go into the fray. Now, if you wish to, well, that is your choice. I would advise you not to. What kind of spells can you cast?
Well, can I just show him my spell book, or do I just list all of my spells?
You can do that. Let me just see if he has. Yeah, he probably wouldn't understand most of it. And he also, yeah, you can explain things to him.
Yeah, I show him the spell book and explain most of the spells. They're mostly fire spells and a bunch of support spells.
Good. Now, I won't teach. I myself am a different type of spellcaster. I don't have to teach you how to do your job in this case. But of course, use what support spells you can to help the rest. I believe you mentioned you have the ability of sleep, correct?
Yes.
A foe that is asleep is one that is easy to hit and easy to kill. That one will be of great utility. For your fire spells, well, those ones are normal. Hurl them at the enemy and hit them. The only advice I can give you is to steel yourself. I understand that as you try to cast spells, you need a great deal of attention, focus, concentration. You have to move your hands where you have to, say what you have to, and focus on the target that you have to. And if you are not able to focus your stuff, is to steal yourself, you will not be able to cast these spells. So be ready and understand that danger is always present. Keep not both eyes open. Create another eye. Have an eye on the back. And even then, understand that you have a job to do. And that job is to cast your spells.
I understand. Thank you.
Now, the best kind of course, anything I say here is purely theoretical. The very basics, things that you are already aware of. Other things to note is that scenarios change. Sometimes we'll fight one thing, sometimes we'll fight many things. How you deal with that varies. But what I can see from most of you, you have a focus on killing fast and moving fast. Zamaan with your damaging spells, 2 rogues able to quickly kill something in a blink of an eye, and well, Gildurk is strong, and Gildurk has spells that both he and I know can deal a great deal of damage to the enemy. The strategy I can give to all of you is one very simple: kill them before they hurt you. Simple as that. Now, and he's going to continue on, just sort of giving you a little bit of the rundown of some of your newly founded skills, from his experience, such as how uncanny is it uncanny act? No, cunning action works. He's not going to make you cast any spells, Zamaan, but he's just going to sort of tell you, okay, your 2 new spells, for example, Shield and Gift of Alacrity, you can use them during fight, but if you know you're going to fight something, use that beforehand. Because when you start the fight, you're going to want to hurt things, not save yourself. Gildurk, he's already gone, through with you. You know what you have to do. But he repeats it nonetheless, just so that everybody knows what you can do. You can hurt, you can heal, but your main point should be to, well, be in front and act as a tank, essentially.
Yeah, as we discussed before.
Mm-hmm. And this is going to take maybe like 30-ish minutes. He's not going to take up too much of your time. And he doesn't want to tire you out, especially because you guys are going to want to go to the dungeon. As he sort of finishes the training. 1 second. Yeah, no, I'm aware of that. I'm aware of that, boo. Which is why I'm gonna want to sort of end a little bit sooner, purely just so she doesn't miss out on too much. In the meantime, we can take this opportunity. I'll actually deal this out of session, but he's going to finish up, sort of nod at all of you. Goes, well, Gildurk, if anything, they will be competent. But of course, remember, the biggest thing, no matter how powerful you are, no matter how many spells you can cast, nor how great of an axe or a sword you can wield, you don't have to get each other. You will die quickly. Maybe painlessly, maybe painfully, but you will die. Work together, bolster your strengths, and remove your weaknesses. You don't have to be perfect at anything. Somebody else next to you can do that for you. Now, I must go back to my familia. I hope you enjoyed the pies. Before I leave, actually, do you have a preference in taste so I can prepare next time?
trying to think. I'm gonna go peek
I
inside.
like cinnamon.
Ava, what kind of pie you like?
Anything really. It just has to be sweet.
Alright, how about blueberries? And look, next time as well, I can give you some fresh fruit for your pies.
This sounds like a partnership I am willing to partake in.
Excellent. Gives me a reason to visit Isaac too.
Zamaan,
That's the best question.
what kind of...
I'm okay. I personally prefer any kind of pie with cinnamon, but as I know it doesn't go very well with blueberries, I'm fine with blueberries as well.
Do not underestimate my ability to make pies. I will make cinnamon blueberry pie.
Thank you, kind sir.
He then just gives it like a single final nod and just buzzes off the alleyway, leaving you all just there, and Eva just goes like, so this means we get more pie, right?
Yes, I believe it does.
Cool. I'm gonna go eat the rest.
Leave some for the others, Ava.
I know I am. But I
You
mean,
can have my slice.
she just sort of looks at Avi. No, I have my slice.
If he gives it to you, you can take it.
Fine, thank you. Wait, no, he's teaching
No
me
problem.
But you're teaching me magic. No, this is... Can I have half of your slice?
Sure.
She goes back in. And yeah, you guys can enjoy the pies. They're great pies. But with that, and since Mia's not able to come, and, well, I don't want her to leave out too much, I'm going to say that let's end the session here if that's no problem.
That's a problem.
Oh, okay. What would you like to do?
Meet me outside right the fuck now.
Boy? Okay, but...
I'm about to be banned for violence.
Okay, but who's coming to whose house? I don't got a car. You get
You
your...
come
Nah,
on foot.
what do you mean off? That's
On foot.
That's unfair. I'm gonna be tired.
What do you? I'm fatter than you.
Can I just go to Perpete and say to her, goddess of gold, more like goddess of mold, with this place you got us.
Like goddess of iron, am I right, fellas?
She gives you... Do you actually say that? Or...
No, holy yes, Perpete's gonna do the fucking League of
I was
Legends.
drinking juice, fuck. I spit out all of the juice.
Not the juice.
Okay then. Yeah. You know, the good thing about how we solved the technical issues is my phone's now fully charged.
Exactly. See.
Okay. But to properly finish off, that's going to be session 3 of Conquest of Purgatory, where we enjoy... Yeah, you know, I have the name for this video. Okay, everybody say bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.